Hello, down here. Welcome back to more FNaF Freddy the Tutorial. Now we're starting from chapter 12. Oh my god, there's only 2 chapters left. Oops. What else? But, oh. On to chapter 12. The world thunders around Charlie. She here with me, back and forth. Seeing objects getting harder to each time she was jostled. Charlie opened her eyes and remembered when she was, or rather, what she was inside. The awful image of the mouthful Freddy getting into her, sucking her into like some kind of snake hit her. She closed her eyes again. She lips together so she wouldn't squeal. The thuds were footsteps. That's weird. The animatronics were on the roof. Her head throbbed with each blow, making it hard to think straight. Must have been knocked constant when it threw me in here, she thought. The torso of the thing was connected head by a wide neck, which was almost level with her own. So its head stretched out for a foot above her. It was like looking inside of a mask. The whole of the protruding staff, the bike steers that was the back of its eyes. When she carefully tilted her head up, she could even see the bolt that attached the back top hat. Charlie's legs were cramped and bent at odd angles, were between pieces of machinery. She must have been stuck this way for some time, but she had no way of knowing how long. Her arms were constrained, extended away from her body to the arms of the suit. Her whole body was covered in small points of pain, bruises and cuts from tiny pieces of plastic and metal that deepened each time they banged against her. Charlie could feel blood trickling down her skin in half a dozen places. She itched to wipe away, but had no idea how much she could show without triggering the springs. Her mind flashed the merced murder victim, the aspirations that covered body almost declaratively. She thought of Dave's screams as he died, and a bolted core beneath the stage of Pile's skull. That can't be me. I can't die like that! Charlie had told Craig that what she knew about the Singlock suits. The animatronic parts were either recoil, making room for a person inside to use their costume, or fully extended so the mask was a robot. But That was what Charlie knew from Freddy Fazbear's Diner. This creature was different. She was inside a cavity made from human beings, but the suit was moving with complete full technology. Uh, it reminds me of how sometimes Freddy has a bit inside him where he can carry human beings as well. When it is that important, especially the boat made by William Afton. Size was for metal architecture and wire, all set for the space that Charlie occupied. The animatronics lurched unexpectedly to the side, and Charlie was smacked against the jagged wall again with greater force. She cried out this time, unable to help herself, but there was no break in Freddy's stride. Even the creature had her, or it didn't care. She clenched her teeth, trying to quell the pounding in her head. Where are we going? She craned her neck this way and that, looking through the holes in the expanded suit. There were only a few holes, small and on either side of the thing's torso. All she could make out was the forest, trees rushing by in the darkness as they hurried to the mysterious destination. Charlie sighed in frustration, tears welling up. How are you? Am I getting closer to you? Honey, is it you? He gave up looking for hints outside. Instead, head on it. Ian said to stay calm. And Jen's voice said in her, always stay calm. It's the only way to keep your head clear. She stopped up into the mat. As they are fixes the twisted Freddy. Suddenly the blank stare rolled back and the eyes swept in, staring straight down at her with impressive gaze. Charlie screamed and jerked back to stare, like destined to the sun. She fell down. No, no. Nothing else triggered. No, she cautiously set herself in place. The shiny blue eyes above her. Side where the piece of metal had hit her. Sharp with pain each time she breathed. She roared, alarmed, if her rib had broken before she could be sure. The animatronic lurched to the side again. Charlie fell with it, so hard that the blow radiated through her body. Her vision darkened, closing to a tunnel, and as she faded into unconsciousness again, all she could see were Freddy's watching eyes. You are funny, little. Okay, I do have a problem with my deep voice lately. You seem to go really, really deep. John's lungs were beginning to burn, his legs turning wobbly as they ran on and on through the forest. They'd been running for what felt like hours, though he knew it couldn't be. That was just his exhaustion playing tricks on his mind. The trail had faded. They entered the forest. The trees had been their guide. They followed with and ragged bark and broken branches. And tall wood with a massive, precarious step. But the signs of grow farther the tree to stop the tiny. In all directions the creature seemed to have been heading. Truthfully, he might have been lost. He darted around the trees, trekked up and down small hills, the uneven ground. John began to lose his direction entirely. Ahead of Jackson wanked onward. He followed, but for all he knew, they could be running around an endless circle. Running around in circles! Sorry. That's the biggest running joke of them all. Behind them, Clay's steps were slowing, breathing heavy. Just a few paces ahead, double back, jogging in place as he waited for them to catch up. Come on, guys, we're almost there, she said dejectedly. Almost where? John asked, trying to keep so even. I was just trying to be encouraging, she said. I was on my high school street for 3 years. Well, the more heavy lifted, you know, John panted, suddenly defensive. Come on, Clay, come on, you can do it, Jesse called. John glanced back. Clay stopped running and doubled over with his hands on his knees, taking gasping breaths. With John turned back. Just so with a frustrated sound. Sorry. And followed him to Clay. Are you alright? John asked. The other man nodded, leaning back. Fine, he said. Go ahead, I catch up. There's nowhere to go ahead to, John said. We're running by. When the last time you saw that? Oh, you're back, Clay said. But they were headed this way, and it's all we have to go on. But there's nothing to go on! John's voice rose in frustration. There's no reason to think they went this way. We're losing them, Jack said Elsie. She was running a pace, her ponytail bouncing like a little nervous animal behind her. Clay shook his head. No, we already lost them. Jackson stopped running, but she kept shifting from one foot to another. So what now? Something rustled in the trees ahead of them. They grabbed John's arm, then reached it quickly, giving a bounce. The sound came again, and John startled towards it. Raising a hand to signal the others to stay, made his way cautiously through the trees, glancing back once more, seeing that Jackson and Clay were close behind. This tried to tend to keep them back. God damn it. A few feet further on, the trees broke into an open field. They had reached the far side of the woods. Jackson grasped, and a second later, John saw it. Halfway, a figure stood in the darkness. It was almost features of black, scarcely distinct from the shadow. John screamed, trying to get a hold of the image, to assure himself he was really seeing. Heavy black electrical wires stretched above the field like a canopy. But besides the wires, the field was clear. Though it was dark, there was no way for them to see without being seen. John seated his shoulders and began to walk slowly and open it. For the field was unattended. A tall grass brushed these as he walked. Jessica and Clay made rushing sound with every step. The wind whipped the grass against the web, blowing more ferociously with each step they took. As across the field, John stopped puzzled. The figure was still there, but it seemed as far away started. Glanced back at Jackson. Is it moving? She whispered. He nodded and started to think. John, it looks like Freddy. I don't know what it is, John asked. I don't think it wants us to fall. Back to Charlie. You know what I need? More shooting. Sorry, I really, really like this image. Can you blame me? I can't wait. Charlie coughed and gagged, coming suddenly awake. She lay on her back, dirt pouring down onto her. It filled her mouth, clogging her nose and covering her eyes. She spat, shaking her head and picking rapidly. She tried to reach her hands, but couldn't move them. She remembered suddenly that the trapped inside the arms of the suit and would be mutualized to Sylvia's struggle to freedom. I'm buried alive! I'm being buried alive! She opened her mouth to scream, and more dirt fell in. In the back of her could gag again. Could feel the pulse in her throat. King her from inside as surely as the dirt from outside. Her heart was beating too fast and she felt lightheaded. She took faster breaths, trying in vain to fill her lungs, but she only stirred up the dirt and inhaled it. She spat, goggling at the back of her throat to catch it before she swallowed, and turned her head to the side, away from the storage room that felt like rain. She took another shuddering breath that shook her chest, and then another. You're hyperventilating, she told herself then. You have to stop. You have to calm down. You need your health clear. Before came in Aunt Jen's voice. She stared at the malfamiliar side of the suit and took a deep breath. Knowing the dirt that settled in the air, shining down her neck, slightly hard straw, could breathe almost normally again. Charlie closed her eyes again, so may see what means. You have to get your arms free. She concentrated all her attention on her left arm. Its t-shirt left the skin of her arms bare against the suit, so she could feel everything that touched her. Her eyes still closed, she tried began to draw a map. There's something at the shoulder joints on either side, which just below. The strikes all the way, and right all the way down to right elbow and and the inside has, what's that? She rocked her gently back and forth against the arch. The last finger, she both. Focusing again on the place where her arm joined the torso. Those are fingers. Okay, I get it. Hand. She flexed her fingers slightly. The seeds were wide, and her hands, which reached roughly to the creature's elbows, were less contained than anything else. She spat out again, trying to note, pointing and standing, high up all around her. Breathe. While you still can. She clenched her jaw, envisaging the street that encased her arm. Slowly began to work her way out. She dipped down her shoulder, walked to the floor, the breath, and pulled her arm 3 inches out. Charlie let her suddenly sigh. Her shoulder was free of the string locks. That was the hardest part. The arms will touch her. Careful. She kept going, avoiding the things like stab, snap, or snap the other. When she was halfway out, her elbow lifting on too quickly and heard a snap. And stooped there, but it wasn't the spring lock. Something small inside had triggered the of Freddy's call. Okay. She got back to her. Minutes later, her arm was full of face. Like she had now the other one. She was just the gun getting a little whiter. It's such a really so messed up the outside. But the tea and the glowing mountain dirt around her made Charlie curse. Tracy triggered the small characters that bruised her pain, but didn't break her skin. She yanked free too fast. Glass ran before they cracked open. Jolted as the robotic skeleton inside unfolded with a noise like firecrackers. Charlie caught her hand to the chest, yet against her pounding heart as she was. That could have been. It wasn't me. Focus. Legs. Her legs weren't pinned in place. Arms aren't bent. They said they were been awkwardly positioned, wedged between metal wires that wound through the body of the mascot. Well, well done. She was able to look. Cautiously, Charlie was to what told her. Nothing her. Triggered. And she did the same with that. The wind's free. Charlie looked down and left the arm Charlie to at the door to the chest cavity. But that's on the outside. But these creatures were old. The parts rusted and weak. She reached down and put her hands against the metal, feeling such springs and other devices. She couldn't quite see from where her head was stuck, and she couldn't move down safely unless the dirt had almost piled a foot on each, and it covered half her body. Charlie abandoned the door momentarily and began to move the desk. But her head slightly brushed at the mouth with her hand. The place she left the body back and forth, using her hand until she lay on it like a spit. That it wouldn't protect her from the suit if she triggered it, but it would give her extra caution, making it slightly harder for her to trust something and be screwed and right, like you almost did. She glanced at the armored suit that had been triggered, now filled with metal spines and hard plastic. A shiver went down her back. Now she inched down until she could see the chest plates. Placed her hands in the center and began to push upwards with all might. Slowly, they came apart, and watched the dirt cascaded in, caught and turned her head, but she kept pushing as the dirt weighed down her. It's a football. They cast beneath them and porcelain. How deep am I? She thought for the first time. If she seemed to barely 6 feet down, she might be escaping only to suffocate in the whole set. What else am I going to do? Charlie closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and held it. Then she pressed herself up to the doors and began to crawl away out of the grey. The dirt wasn't packed tightly, but it still took an effort. She scratched the skates with her bare hand, or two as her fingers nails slipped and bled. As she hacked at the dirt, her lungs began to burn and clench, trying to get her to breathe. She scrunched her good and grasped harder. I hope that coming. Help me, please. I have to get out of this. Please, I can't die in it. Freddy's alive. Her arm broke the set. That's a shot. Gracing into she no longer felt starved of oxygen. I am never going to get buried without them trying to get her again. Screw you, Freddy. I won this round. Screw you. Then she closed her eyes and backed her fists against the tiny wall hole against her head. Baker's statue was large enough to wiggle through. Charlie stood up, her feet still planted in the chest cavity of the stoop. There had been little more foot of bear covering her. She beat her feet on all of the dots and climbed out the hole, hauling herself up. She clasped beside it, shaking with exhaustion. You're not safe yet, she told herself. You have to get up. She stared horrified at the hole she escaped from, her face wet with tears. Time passed, minutes or hours. She lost track of breathing. Mustering her strength, Charlie pushed herself to decision. Oh, pardon me. Wiping her face. She couldn't tell where she was, but the air was cool and still. She was indoors, and somewhere in the distance was the sound of rushing water. With the adrenaline gone, her head ached again, throbbing along with her heartbeat. It was just her head. Everything hurt. She was covered in bruising. Her clothing was stained with blood, and now that she wasn't suffocating, she was very aware. She was aware again of the stabbing sensation in her ribcage every time she was nailed. Charlie pulled her away, trying to see if anything seen down the street. The bruises were always brightly colored, where the parts of the suit are stuck, but nothing was broken. Oh, that's the good news. The bad news, I'm still stuck in here. Charlie stood up. The pain was receding enough to at least move and get her bearings. As she looked round, her blood went cold. It was Freddy Fazbear's pizza. It can't be. The waves of panic rose again. Lying back off from the hole in the ground. The table goes to counter, go to stage, the table goes to poop. Freddy's for blue, she said. Lee was quickly washed away by confusion. What is this place? This is Sparta! Now it's the finest of Freddy's 2 location. But with water! Because why the hell not? See you guys next time.